Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day. Just sitting down in my office, home from Whistler, watching American Ninja Warrior. Uh, these guys are fit AF, shall we say. I don't even know how to do it. Anyway, like I said, back from Whistler, got a bit of time to reflect on what was a whirlwind couple of weeks. That was absolutely amazing. Did challenge Penticton 2 weeks ago, and then Ironman Canada 70.3 this weekend. Um, the 70.3 was always a plan of going for a family vacation, cheering on the full distance athletes, because cheering on and being at the finish line is probably the best experience you can have if you enjoy the sport, or even if you don't, you can just appreciate it. And doing a 5.5 to 6 hour workout the morning of, and it took me 5 hours 55 minutes 26 seconds. It wasn't the result I wanted to have, especially coming off of Victoria, but it is what it is. I mean, realistically, I did challenge Penticton the week before, which I will try to link the race recap to that in the comments of this one, or the description of this one, that I did with my coach at Scenic Run at the BC Ferry terminals while we hurry up and waited to get home, because that is a theme with BC Ferries. If you're ever aware of it, it is. It's a hurry up and wait, because that's just the way they operate. But yeah, as far as Whistler goes, it was amazing. It's a beautiful venue, beautiful city, up in the mountains, lots of elevation. But it's not a race for the faint of heart. It is billed as one of the toughest bike courses around for the full, and I'm sure that holds true for the 70.3 as well. So the day started out great. The nice thing is with the 70.3s, we started at 8:45, but there was still question of what was happening with transition, when it was open, when it was closed, when you could or could not get to your gear bags. So I got up 5:15, not unheard of for a triathlete, just for training purposes, so I was kind of used to it. Got up, had some breakfast, and then grabbed my stuff that was all ready to go and headed down to the shuttles. Took the shuttle to T1, got things set up, watched the full distance athletes take off, and watched them come out of the water. We had enough time. We actually started 2 hours later. So got myself ready to head into the water. They've got a rolling start now, which is amazing. Not sure that I was going to like it at first, but it is by far my most favorite way to start a race now, because you're not getting trampled over. I'm not a fast swimmer, but I'm a strong swimmer and I'm confident. So I don't care if you swim over me or touch me or push me. I can recover from it. Doesn't bother me. But I know it bothers some, and I actually like being grouped more with people my time. It doesn't matter what their age is, and we sort of formed these little packs. It was great. I was able to hop on somebody's hip right away, made some good time, passed a few people. Water was a little choppy, but it wasn't bad on the way out. Turned the corner, the first corner, first left, and you got the sun beating right in your eyes. Couldn't see anything, but sourced it out, found the next buoy, kept going. Made the left turn towards back to the beach-ish area, sort of the back, probably 700 meters or so, give or take, and head back down that way. A little choppy, but it wasn't bad. Found some open water. It was great. And then made the final turn to head back to the beach, and it was gross. It was choppy's not even a word. It was white caps and 3-foot swells. You could have surfed on the way back into the water. I guess the wind had kicked up, and it was bad. I know of at least a couple of athletes that got seasick, ended up throwing up in the water and getting pulled out by medical. It's an unfortunate way to end your day so early in the day, but I guess Mother Nature had different ideas as far as the water goes. I got out of the water. I skipped the wetsuit strippers. They have them there. I skipped through them. I've cut my wetsuit down so I can peel it off pretty quickly. So yeah, into the change tent. Got changed. Pretty quick transition for the size that it is and whatnot. And then yeah, out to my bike, and then yeah, got on the bike, and it's a bit of a climb out of Alta Lake. I've done it before. I was actually in Whistler for 2015, or in 2015 for the full, and it sucked. That was the year it was pouring rain and probably goes down in history as one of the worst conditions to ever do an Ironman in. because it was not just pouring rain, it was cold. It was like 4 or 6 degrees Celsius. It was stupid. But it is what it is, and I completed that one. Anyway, so I kind of knew the road out of Alta Lake, pushed it a little bit, felt comfortable, and my goal was really to want to be able to run when it got to the half marathon, and I have an issue sometimes with running off the bike, so I didn't want to push myself too hard. The downside is I like to bike, so I ended up pushing a little hard, got up some of those hills, got the rollers, turned onto the highway towards the village, because you go flying through the village and then you hit the Callahan Valley climb. Took advantage of some of the rollers-ish. I don't know if they're really rollers, but the road back to the village, flew through the village, the fans there, the people cheering on the side of the road, absolutely amazing. And then yeah, just outskirts of town, hit the Callahan climb. Climb's loose sense of the term. The full distance goes all the way up to Olympic Park. The 70.3s, that was me. Got to turn around at about 500 meters up, which was awesome. Turned around, head back down, get nice speed, hit the corner nice and fast. I hope there's a picture from there because I was flying. Hit the highway back. Bit of a cluster F on the way back with so many athletes climbing up the hill and not enough space for everybody. Wasn't really happy with how they did the highway closure this year. It jammed a lot of athletes at the same time into the middle of the road, and there was nowhere to go. At one point in time, I was actually pushed into oncoming traffic, cyclist traffic, because I had nowhere to go, even though I announced myself on your left, trying to pass, and somebody swerved into me. But it is what it is, and sometimes it's the nature of the beast, and we persevere. But yeah, it was up and through the rollers and back towards Whistler, and I hit the village, and I was flying. I was going way harder than I should have, knowing what my end goal was to be able to run. But man, I felt good. I hammered it. I mean, hammered it through the village. Flew. I passed so many people. Actually, overall, the whole bike course, I passed more people than passed me, hands down. I passed a lot of people, which means I really need to work on my swimming, which I know. But yeah, hammered the bike. Hit some of the climbs out past Green Lake, a little bit of a climb out, and then the descent towards Pemberton. That was fast. I was flying. It was fun. I was flying and I didn't have to work. I was doing 70 kilometers an hour and I wasn't pedaling. It was fun. I like going fast. It's great. The highway's closed. You got the road to yourself. I did, however, see somebody who had a really bad day. I saw the aftermath of a crash. It didn't look pretty to whomever that person was. I hope you're okay. It didn't look good. But yeah, down, flew through, kept going, just in my groove, felt good, hit the turnaround, and that's when it begins to suck, because you've got essentially 25 kilometers, give or take, of climbing. 25 kilometers of just climbing. No real reprieve. You just climb for the foreseeable future in the easiest gear you have, unless you're a house. But did it, persevered. I actually put smaller gears on for this race, which was a smart decision. So thanks to Outbay Bikes West Shore, Victoria, BC. Those guys are awesome. Really hooked me up in short order out of the time frame from Penticton to when I left for Whistler. I think I had 2 days, 3 days maybe, and they got it done for me. So those guys are awesome. Anyway, yeah, did the climb back, and then it's a bit of a descent through town. You go through the village again, little loopy, swoopy thing, some roads, and then you're boom into T2. It was awesome. The volunteers there are amazing. I basically just launched off my bike. The guy caught it and put it away, and I got it later. So they did their job right. Yeah, in T2, up, I knew I'd placed my bag. I knew exactly where it was. I had a great line with the men's change tent, so I knew exactly where my bag was. Run up, boom, grab my bag. Into T2, got changed, chatted with some people in there. It was a great day. Everybody's having a good time. It was hot. Not as hot as Penticton, but it was hot. Got changed, out on the run. Left the T2, saw my family, saw my girls. Easy boost of energy right there. Yeah, started on the run. Felt great. Not really sure how far I ran before my legs decided to say, screw you. We just did this last weekend. Which isn't entirely true, because last weekend was so damn hot that I could barely run at all. But yeah, it was the legs had other ideas. So it was run, walk, run, walk, run, walk, which isn't unheard of for me. Except this time when at least I was running a good pace. I was happy with it. I felt good about the runs. Met some wonderful people on course, and I mean, this course is beautiful. If you haven't done it, put it on your list. Up through Green Lake, that's a lie. Up through Lost Lake, through the bush, through the trees, nice trails. It's shaded. It's gorgeous. The people out there just doing whatever it was for the day, out for a walk with their dogs, cheering you on. It was amazing. And then you come out through Lost Lake, back through a bit of the village area, and then through some of the hard packed trails around, out by the golf course, and through around there, and out to Green Lake this time, and out to Green Lake, turn around and you come back, and a little bit of hills at the beginning, but absolutely an amazing run course that if you haven't had a chance, you got to do it, even if it's just out there visiting the town of Whistler. It's beautiful. There's so many trails through there. But yeah, made it through, and they send you through a little loop-de-doo. They tease you because you come through and you're like, oh look, the finish line, no, you gotta go the other way, and you go back and around under a bridge and up and over the bridge, and then you're down the finishing chute. And I had the most fun I've ever had in a finishing chute before. I airplaned that business like I owned it. I had the hands out. I was on one side high-fiving everybody. I was back to the other side high-fiving everybody. Back over the other side high-fiving everybody. It was fun. It was a blast. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Got through the finishing chute, finishing line. Shut my Garmin off because it's important. Grabbed some waters, probably about 48 waters or so, maybe 50, and poured all of them onto my head because it was that hot. I drank maybe 2. And then, yeah, the nice thing is we stayed right in the heart of the village. And so, yeah, bombed right back up to the condo we were staying in. Quick shower, changed, boom, back down to cheer on the full distance athletes because that's what I wanted to go do. Cheered them on, went to a couple spots on the run course, cheered them on, went back to the finishing line, cheered them on. I watched a good friend of mine who I've pretty much watched grow up since he was a young teenager, complete his first Ironman, which was amazing. So Shelby McDonald, good on ya. And then I headed back out to cheer on one of my other friends that I knew was out there doing the full. And if you don't know Kevin Nunn, this man is an amazing human being. He races for Cops for Cancer, and he races for kids who can't, and he raises funds for kids with cancer, and to if you ever get a chance to talk to him, he could tell you more about it. But Kevin Nunn's an amazing individual. So I headed back out on the run course because I knew he was a little bit behind, watching split times, and yeah, I caught up to him, and he wasn't feeling good. His guts had turned on him, and his body expelled every bit of nutrition that he had taken in. So we'll leave it at that, save you the gory details. But I jogged back with him a little bit and walked beside him, and talked to him, and that was an honor to be beside that man because he's amazing. And then I got to see him come through the finishing chute. So yeah, I mean, all in all, Whistler was what it set out to be. It was a fun race. I had a good showing for what I'd been through in the last 2 weeks, and that town is amazing. The event's amazing. Standing at the finishing line at dark, watching these athletes come through, completing their Ironman dreams, is amazing. I can't say enough about it. But yeah, I had a blast, and I know this video's gone a little long, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you watched it. I don't know, but if you do me a solid and subscribe and like the video and share the out of it, that would be awesome. So thank you to everybody, and yeah, if you have questions about Whistler and the race, please ask. Same thing goes for Challenge Penticton. Like I said, I'll try to link the video linky thingy in the description so you can check that out too. It is a bit longer, but so be it. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and have a great day.